going on, guys? JD from New York here, and this is WWE Off The Script, episode number 54, part number 2 for your Saturday morning, week ending March 1st, 2015. This right here is your number one source, and don't forget that, for WWE news and rumors right here on YouTube.com. If you guys are not following me on Twitter at JD from NY206, if you guys are not subscribed to this channel, I honestly do not know what the fuck you are waiting for to hit that subscribe button, man. If you love WWE, if you enjoy playing WWE 2K15, this is the channel for you. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you guys want to follow me all across social media, just look in the layout of Off The Script and go follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and Facebook, which I'm never on because I can't stand Facebook. But regardless of that, follow me all over social media if you want to keep up to date on WWE, the gaming community, and what goes on this channel, all right? If you guys missed Off The Script yesterday, Brock Lesnar walking out on Vince McMahon and WWE during Monday Night Raw. Link is down below at the very top of the description. Go and check that out if YouTube wanted to fuck you over, as always, and have it not appear in your sub boxes, man. So go check that out if you did indeed miss part 1 yesterday of Off The Script. Thank you guys so much for joining me this Saturday morning. Off The Script has been absolutely on fire, man. I appreciate all the love and support you guys have given this series, this WWE content, man. I love doing this for you guys, and I hope you continue showing all that love and support, man. We are very, very close to 25,000 subscribers for Team JD right here on my channel. So I want to thank you guys all very, very much, all right? Big news, guys. Big news. I'm going to get right into it. AJ Lee. AJ Lee taken after her husband, CM Punk, man, and just fucking laying the smackdown on Stephanie McMahon via Twitter, man. Another fucking virtual pipe bomb went off because AJ Lee called out Stephanie McMahon about the state of the WWE Divas division, man. And I can't stand that term, diva. That does not signify to me that you are a WWE wrestler, man. That means you're nothing but mainstream garbage. That's what it's always been to me. Okay, and I'm going to give you guys the latest information on AJ Lee calling out Stephanie McMahon. Is this a work? Is this something that WWE has planned for the two leading into WrestleMania? Is it a shoot? I don't know, man, but I got the full information for you right now. WWE aired its first edition of Monday Night Raw, coming out of Fastlane on February 23rd. Within the showing of WWE's flagship program, there was not much focus towards the Divas division. There really is never any focus towards the Divas division, all right? While Natalya and Naomi would clash during a match between the Usos and Cesaro and Tyson Kidd for the WWE Tag Team Championship, there would only be one Divas match on the show. That match would see the Bella Twins face Paige and Emma in tag team action. The match would go on under a minute, with the Bella Twins quickly and emphatically pinning Emma. With the glaring absence of the Divas on the show, the WWE Universe would not be shy about the misuse of the Divas on the main WWE programs such as Monday Night Raw and Thursday Night SmackDown. During and following Raw, the hashtag Give Divas a Chance trended worldwide. The following night, the Twitter account of three-time Divas champion AJ Lee, at WWE AJ Lee, if you guys want to go follow her on Twitter, would call out Stephanie McMahon for the WWE's misuse of its women. WWE hit a bump in the road to WrestleMania in late February, as the company has come under fire for the way it treats its women performers branded as WWE Divas. Tension first started to rise following yet another successful NXT Takeover event in which 4 women wrestlers, want to get that through you, everybody watching, you guys, okay? Wrestlers. What they do down in NXT is wrestle. They perform. What they do on the WWE main roster is completely fucking different than anything right now in the world of professional wrestling. WWE is basing everything that they have concerning the women, revolving around the women, off Total Divas, which is nothing but scripted fucking garbage. That I really don't know, man. I enjoyed season 1. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I enjoyed season 1 because it felt more natural. Season 2 and now what we're watching on the E Network is completely fucking trash. And WWE tries to translate that into what goes on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, and it doesn't work. This is what they're doing because they're too lazy to come up with creative storylines for the women. This goes to show you that WWE does not care and that they want to sink to that level and give you rehashed garbage that you see on the E! Network and bring all that over to Monday Night Raw. Nobody wants to see that, man. And what we get out of all that is 30-second matches. Matches that barely last. And I'm not even kidding you. 2 minutes. And what I seen on Monday Night Raw with Paige, who is a future piece to the Divas division, man. 21 years old. 21 years old. A multi-time Divas champion already. And she's being misused because she's got to be lumped into that fucking Total Divas reality series garbage. Meanwhile, she should be wrestling Emma in 10-minute matches, 15-minute matches on Monday Night Raw, showing you that these women are training and getting better each and every day, each and every week, and showing you what they have, what they bring to the WWE Universe as an alternate to what the men do. I want to see athletic performers in the ring, man. This is why we watch wrestling. This is why we watch Monday Night Raw. This is why we love the sport. We want to see athleticism. We want to see two talented performers go at it, and we want to see what they have, what they bring to the table. This is why we love NXT Takeover so much, man. That multi-team match, that multi-women's wrestler match on Takeover. I let my brother Frank, Legionary, you know, the main guy behind Legionary, I let him watch that match after Fastlane went off the air on the WWE Network as I recorded my review. Because I had to take him home, I had to drive him home, I didn't want him to take the bus in the cold, okay? So I said, you know, watch this. I had him watch the four-way women's match at Takeover, and I had him watch Neville and Baylor, okay? 2 matches, he said, wow, this is fucking great. Better than anything on Monday Night Raw. Yes, I know. But he uttered the words, this is probably the best women match I've ever seen. And he's someone who doesn't watch regularly. He keeps up to date, but he doesn't watch everything. And he said that to me. And I'm like, I know. Do you see what they're doing with NXT and the women down there? And why they're not translating this to Monday Night Raw is beyond me. And that comes from someone who is just a casual viewer. And he's saying that to me. One of the best Divas matches he's ever seen. That's what we want to see on Monday Night Raw. And the fact that Paige was standing in the ring with Emma as that fucking Sting package was going on. You know, I don't know how long that package lasts. What, a good 5-6 minutes? They waited in the ring until that was over. That's a slap in the face. That's disrespectful. Especially to your Divas champion, Nikki, who had to wait till that shit was over. If you want to highlight the Divas, show them some respect, man. Give them proper introductions. Let them go out there and perform. They gotta wait in the ring with no introduction until the fucking segment with Sting is over? What does that mean? What does that mean to everybody? Okay, what we're doing with Triple H, yes, we know by default it's one of the biggest storylines going into WrestleMania, but you don't have to fucking overshadow what the women are doing on Monday Night Raw. I don't understand that. And that happens not once, not twice. It happens almost every week with the Divas. This is a normal thing. So, that's another thing that bothered me on Monday Night Raw. The fact that the segment was going on, the video package with Sting, while Emma and Paige were in the ring watching it on the Titantron. Really? I don't understand that. I really don't. Alright? So the NXT TakeOver event, sorry I went into a little tangent there. The NXT TakeOver event in which 4 women wrestlers put on a solid lengthy match in the co-main event, mind you. Okay? It went right on before Zayn and Owens. Coming out of the show, some main roster WWE Divas were critical of the NXT girls receiving more prominent, lengthy storylines and matches than what we see on Monday Night Raw. Things got more serious for the WWE following the February 23rd showing of Monday Night Raw. In a 3-hour show, there was just one Divas match on the card and it received under a minute of time. The match saw the Bella Twins put away Emma and Paige in a tag team match in the blink of an eye. Coming out of Raw, the WWE Universe was not shy in voicing its opinion on the role of the Divas in WWE. Throughout the show, as well as after, the hashtag Give Divas a Chance trended worldwide. Additionally, the following night, WWE Diva AJ Lee, who has been out of action for many weeks now, called out Stephanie McMahon and the WWE for not giving its women proper pay and recognition. And my iPhone is going off. Sorry, I did not mute that. Another one of these random interruptions. A couple of hours after AJ Lee said what she said to Stephanie McMahon, the Twitter account of Vince McMahon, at Vince McMahon, if you're not following him on Twitter, please go and do so, even though he doesn't tweet, and I doubt he's even on Twitter. He's got someone, I'm sure, one of his goons tweeting for him. He responded to the situation using the hashtag Give Divas a Chance. He said, and I quote, "We hear you. Keep watching. Hashtag Give Divas a Chance." All right. Now, Dave Meltzer is going to provide more insight on this entire AJ Lee and Stephanie McMahon situation. The latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter has given some insight to the backstage reaction of AJ Lee and Stephanie McMahon's recent Twitter interaction about the usage of and payouts to WWE Divas on the main roster. As previously reported, Lee called out McMahon via social media in the midst of an uproar on Twitter in regards to the amount of time Divas are given on television. While hashtags Give Divas a Chance and Use Your Voice were trending worldwide, McMahon had complimented and applauded Patricia Arquette's Oscar speech on February 23rd via Twitter, thanking her for using the platform she was given to promote women's rights. The next night, former WWE Divas champion AJ Lee took to Twitter to respond to McMahon's tweet, claiming that WWE doesn't promote women's rights very well, questioning how much of what McMahon said is what she actually believes. In response to McMahon, Lee said the following in 2 separate tweets. "Your female wrestlers have record-selling merchandise and have starred in the highest-rated segment of the show several times, and yet they receive a fraction of the wages and screen time of the majority of the male roster. Hashtag Use Your Voice." Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter claims that WWE was absolutely blindsided by Lee's Twitter interaction. McMahon was reportedly furious at AJ Lee, more so for the embarrassment that it caused her via social media and online wrestling dirt sheets, which were headlining their stories as the situation as AJ Lee calls out Stephanie McMahon. Her father, WWE Chairman and CEO Vince McMahon, who also posted a response to the Give Divas a Chance hashtag during his time as well, was one who told his daughter Stephanie to actually respond to Lee's posts, thanking her for her opinion. So Vince McMahon went on Twitter and, started using the hashtag Give Divas a Chance, and then behind closed doors, I'm guessing spoke to Stephanie and told her that he wanted her to address this situation and AJ Lee's posts and thank her for her opinion on this situation. Lee has been one of the most successful divas to work for WWE over the past decade. She's sold more merchandise than any other diva, has more Twitter followers than any other diva, and has even appeared in the main event segments with Kane, Punk, and Daniel Bryan, as well as being the Raw general manager for a season. However, her pay and place on the card were never anywhere close to what the men in the main event were making. Meltzer wrote the following about this entire situation, and I quote, "As a general rule in WWE, and of course there are exceptions, the women are paid significantly less than the men at similar levels, and obviously when it comes to match time, that's an indisputable point. In NXT, this isn't the case. I was told that the women in NXT actually, as a general rule, make more than the men, because so many of the men came from indie backgrounds and are willing to come in at any price to be in WWE. The women, many of who come from modeling, like the male athletes with backgrounds are paid better for the most part, with the idea that the women need to earn at a certain level to maintain the kind of looks the WWE wants their women to have. You know, that's one thing that also bothers me, that the WWE wants their women to look a certain way, man. I enjoy a rough and tough woman getting down and dirty in the ring, man. I want the women to actually look like wrestlers. Not to say that I want them to look like fucking beasts. Not to say that I want them to look manly. I don't want that, man. I enjoy watching a fairly attractive woman in the ring who knows what she's doing and can literally out-wrestle some of the men. You don't have to have them look like supermodels, man. Just like that one that was in this situation with Seth Rollins in the whole nudity scandal, man. That Zara Schreiber. She looks straight out of a fucking porn movie. Seriously. And then you're going to want to put her in a WWE ring? What is she going to do besides attract every fucking young adolescent male who's completely fucking horny and wants to get into that whole fucking thing? You know what? She's hot, man. Let me fucking jerk off to her pictures late at night. She's gorgeous, blah, blah, blah. That's what they do. That's what they're going to do, man. This is what WWE's aiming for, man. They want someone with fake tits, a big ass, with no wrestling background whatsoever, because she's pretty to look at. And, you know, it's going to attract more attention from the audience, and it's going to attract more attention from the people watching at home, man. I'm not for that. I want a Charlotte. I want a Sasha Banks, who's attractive in her own right, and she knows how to fucking wrestle. Paige knows how to fucking wrestle. We don't want the Nikki Bellas, even though I've come on here and stated that she's gotten better. Nikki and Brie have both gotten better. You know, Naomi has gotten better. Natalya knows how to wrestle. You got pieces to the puzzle that you can have a quality Divas division. Nobody wants to see Eva Marie, man. Nobody wants to see Cameron. Why these two are even employed by WWE is absolutely fucking mind-boggling to me. Eva Marie is absolutely one of the most worthless pieces of fucking talent. Sorry, I'm actually doing her... I'm actually giving her some props, calling her a talent. She's not talented, man. She's nothing but a fucking swimsuit model on the WWE payroll. That's all she does. She can't even give you a fucking headlock. She can't do an arm bar. She can't throw a fucking kick. Meanwhile, you got women wrestlers down in NXT who, more than deservedly so, should be on the main roster, yet they're not because they're overshadowed by Eva Marie and Cameron. Fuck out of here, man. WWE, Vince McMahon, and Stephanie McMahon really need to fucking get the stick out from their ass and fuck this I'm right attitude, it's my way or the highway attitude. Fuck that, man. Times have changed. People want wrestling. Twitter is the best outlet for anything like this, man. I'm going to tell you a story right now before I get into the rest of this fucking video. I went to Red Robin. Okay, I went to Red Robin, sat down for a gourmet burger. Service was terrible. Food was fucking terrible. And it took me literally 45 minutes to get a fucking refill on my water. Okay, this pissed me off. Left the waitress no tip. I immediately went to Twitter and said, Red Robin, your gourmet burgers tasted like shit. And the service at your location that I went to sucks, okay? The service was awful, yada, 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 etc., okay? Within a half an hour, they got back to me, they took my phone number, they took my full name, and the next day they issued me a fucking gift card to go back there and spend at their establishment. Twitter is great for speaking your mind, man. And places like Red Robin and these food establishments and corporations like WWE, you have to now cater to the fans and what the people want, man. If you're not going to give people what they want and what they deserve, watching and spending their hard-earned money on your product, on your merchandise, on your network, there's going to be backlash. And this is what happened here. And I don't blame the people who went on Twitter and started voicing their opinions, man, because we have no other outlet. We're tired of WWE walking all over us here. And to stand up for the women, which we know for a fact they want more time in the ring. They want to perform. They want to give us the fans better matches. They don't want lackluster storylines. Why? Why is WWE not listening to their own talent and changing the way they do things on TV? I don't understand that. I mean, if I was in charge of WWE, this is what I would do, man. I would restructure the entire brand to highlight the Divas, highlight the tag teams, and highlight the mid-card. There's no work needed to get people interested in the main event, guys, man, because they're already there. A blind man, a fucking retard can book the main event, guys, man. You got to work on everything else. These are the guys that you're going to make into main event guys. It's only logic. The Barretts, the Ambroses, the Wyatts, the Zigglers, the Sheamuses, the Rusevs. You got to take care of these guys, man. You got to build a mid-card. This is who's going to be in the main event 4 or 5 years from now. How does that not make any sense to WWE? I don't get that. Same thing with the Divas. NXT is fucking on fire right now because people love their main event, people love the talent, and people love the women's wrestling down there. And everyone's wondering, why is it so different when it's under the same fucking flag? It's WWE. I would never want to become a diva. Never. If I was those women down there, I would never want to be upgraded to the main roster. I would never want to be promoted. Why? So I get lumped into that reality series garbage? And everything I work so hard for, giving you 20-minute matches down in NXT, hard-fought, brutal, fucking matches that tell a great story that invest the people watching at home, I'm going to give all that up for 30 seconds on Monday Night Raw? Come on, man. I would be doing a disservice to myself. I'm in the business, I'm in the industry to fucking fight. I want to fight and make money. If you're making money and you're not fighting, and if you're not doing what you love, there's an imbalance there. I would be upset. I would be fucking depressed. I don't know, man. That's just me, okay? Now, moving on. I'm sorry. I'm ranting in this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. I got a lot more to this Dave Meltzer news article here. The problem, as much as the time goes, is also the portrayal, okay? The portrayal of the Divas. On the main roster, they have portrayed the women as not athletes, fighters, talented technical wrestlers, or brawlers, or even women with serious issues with each other. Their storyline issues are generally more shallow and childish. While it's not 100% sex objects, as in the bra and panties days in the Attitude Era, the women are still there more as sex objects and less as wrestlers. This is from Dave Meltzer, okay? They're not treated as athletes, and they're not treated as true superstars like the men are. Their role is to wrestle in provocative outfits, and for the most part, their worth is based on their looks far more than the men. No man could have ever gotten out of developmental with the skill set of Rosa Mendes, Cameron, or Eva Marie. This is from Dave Meltzer, people. Dave Meltzer. There is no argument about equality in portrayal or money that can defend the company on this one, other than it is what the wrestling business has always been. While it's about looks for the men to a degree, Roman Reigns, for example, and Daniel Bryan, not the higher-ups in WWE not seeing Daniel Bryan as the face of the company. Meanwhile, I'm sure if you met Daniel Bryan as one of the fucking warmest, kind-hearted people you could probably ever meet, and he portrays that on TV. He portrays that on Total Divas, okay? And he portrays that in interviews, man. He's very humble. He doesn't want to be in the spotlight, but for someone like that with his look, WWE doesn't see that as the face of the company. Who do they want? The pretty boy, Reigns, with the fucking cool tattoos, and the pretty boy face, and the clean-shaven look. Fuck that, man. Okay, well, it's about looks to a degree with the men. You will never see an unattractive woman with a bad genetic body, no matter how talented they are technically in a WWE ring. Sarah Amato, who trains the women in NXT, I would not call unattractive at all, yet she was deemed not attractive enough to be anything but a trainer in WWE. And I know some of you Ring of Honor guys, please voice your opinions to me on this. Voice your opinions to me about Sarah Amato, about WWE not finding her attractive enough to be a diva, so they just pushed her aside and said, you know what, you're nothing more than a trainer. You know, granted, she's training the women down in NXT, and we're getting fucking unbelievable matches every special event, every Wednesday on NXT. So it's got its positives and it also got its negatives, all right? Even though she has more talent and was a more talented wrestler than almost all of the roster. Melissa Anderson is probably the furthest thing from unattractive, yet she never did, nor is she likely to ever get a WWE look, and it was said to be because she didn't have the right look. What is the right look? What is the right look? One woman who was cut by WWE and ended up having a successful long career in TNA said she was told when released by John Laurinaitis, even though she was doing well as a wrestler, that we're looking for 10s and you're not that. Do you believe what I'm reading to you people? Okay? We're looking for 10s and you're not that. That's what John Laurinaitis told a TNA employee who tried out for WWE. Others at the recruiting level were told that while WWE no longer would allow their performers to pose in Playboy, what they are mainly looking for is women physically attractive enough to do so. They've had and done angles in the past to portray Molly Holly as fat, Mickie James as fat, neither of whom are fat and are beautiful women, and Natalya and Gail Kim as unattractive. Natalya I'm not really attracted to. Gail Kim is attractive, okay? And completely misused by WWE, by the way. Meanwhile, in TNA, and I do watch some of Gail Kim's matches when I flip the channel and I'm seeing TNA, I always stop to see what's going on here and there. Gail Kim, let go by WWE, probably can out-wrestle everybody on that main roster, blindfolded, okay? They had done angles in the past, like I said, Molly Holly, Mickie James, Natalya, Gail Kim as unattractive. But where we are now is a big improvement from 10 years ago. But yeah, Stephanie McMahon was really asking for it not to have the perspective to the can of worms she was opening up. While they expect none of the talent to have the guts or stupidity or whatever you want to say to criticize them, it's not as if people aren't starting to talk due to the jealousy by the main roster stars of the praise that the women in NXT have gotten because they are portrayed more athletically, put in consistent, real, semi-main event on big shows, given matches, given time, and are allowed more time than most of the men for their matches during these special events. It's the whole WWE main roster versus NXT women's portrayal that has become a hot topic in the past few weeks. Given those portrayals, Stephanie did completely open herself up by giving that response to Arquette. But who would have thought any of the women would dare to do it? But one of them did. And by doing so, I guess that tells you where she is mentally about WWE right now, speaking of AJ Lee. The story once USA Today picked it up, caused the Twitter of Vince McMahon to respond saying, "We hear you, keep watching," with the hashtag Give Divas a Chance. Stephanie responded in a very un-McMahon way after a public attack, like writing to AJ Lee, "Thank you, I appreciate your opinion." Clearly, she had no other way to respond past ignoring everything, because if any kind of a defense would open up the story more and bury her and the company, and the story had gotten too big to do that at that very time. What a fucking turn of events, man. WWE has come under fire this year, man. January and February looking like complete disasters for WWE. WrestleMania looking like a fucking complete disaster with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. First of all, you got Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble. WWE had a huge backlash to that. Then you book Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan in Fastlane. People got a backlash to that. Now you got AJ Lee coming out with this against Stephanie McMahon. People got a backlash against that. What's next for WWE, man? Seems to be a incredibly bumpy road to WrestleMania. And WWE needs to wisen up and start listening to the fucking fans watching their shows, man. Let me know what you think about all this shit down below in the comments. Speaking of AJ Lee, she last competed at TLC against Nikki Bella, failing to recapture her Divas Championship. She was written off WWE TV after Nikki sprayed her with a substance in the face, although the real reason was so that she could nurse a legitimate neck injury she suffered prior to SummerSlam. According to PWInsider.com, WWE has creative working on storylines in place for her eventual return to television. The report didn't indicate when her return would be, though. There were several rumors following her bout with Nikki that she may be done with WWE entirely, but that doesn't appear to be the case at all. With WrestleMania 31 plans seemingly in place right now, one would assume that she would come back following WrestleMania, barring her being involved in a multi-diva match on that card. Okay, so I don't know what's going on with AJ Lee, especially after all this. Dave Meltzer said in his newsletter that you can tell where AJ Lee's mindset is right now with WWE, being that she attacked Stephanie McMahon on Twitter. So I do not expect her back anytime soon. Coming out of the inaugural Fastlane pay-per-view, many WWE stars have set their sights on Bad News Barrett, and this news broke yesterday, as soon as I finished Off the Script, of course, part 1. It began on February 23rd, Monday Night Raw, which saw Dean Ambrose, R-Truth, and Dolph Ziggler all vying for the strap. R-Truth was on commentary for a match, Barrett and Ziggler, which the latter won. Ziggler beat Barrett on Monday Night Raw. While on commentary, Truth campaigned to get a shot at the IC title. Ambrose, on the other hand, stole Barrett's gold at Fastlane and has kept it ever since. On February 26th, SmackDown. Okay, spoilers here, people. If you don't want to listen, click off the video. Even more WWE superstars are involved in this storyline with Barrett's stolen IC championship, okay? Prior to the Thursday SmackDown showing, going on the air, WWE made a huge announcement in regards to Barrett's title defense at WrestleMania 31. On its Facebook page, WWE posted breaking news announcing that a multi-man ladder match, which will see Barrett's Intercontinental Championship match, be on the line at WrestleMania 31. Like I said, okay, spoilers. If you guys didn't want to hear that, you should have clicked off the video. If you didn't watch SmackDown yet this week, if you got it on DVR, whatever the case may be, spoilers. If you guys don't give a shit, there you go. Multi-man ladder match at WrestleMania. I don't know who's going to be in it. They haven't announced anybody but Wade Barrett. I assume Ziggler's going to be there. I assume R-Truth is going to be there. I assume Dean Ambrose is going to be there. Maybe Daniel Bryan gets involved. You guys are tweeting a lot at me. Daniel Bryan going to be involved in the IC title. Well, if that's the case, why not give him the fucking belt? Prestige, instantly. Daniel Bryan defending the IC title, then eventually works his way back up to the WWE Championship. But again, I think that would be a slap in the face after what Daniel Bryan has went through. I think he should hang around in the main event scene for the WWE title because, you know, once Roman Reigns gets the belt from Brock Lesnar, that a rematch with Daniel Bryan should be had because it's got to work its way back to Daniel Bryan eventually. He never got a shot at the belt. He never lost. So WWE, I'm sure, is going to have to revolve and work its way back into that storyline. But I don't want to see Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. I really don't. I'm fearing the worst that WWE is going to build towards this match at WrestleMania. Though it would not make any sense. Why would Sheamus come back and attack Daniel Bryan? It beats me. But as of right now, should be an amazing match at WrestleMania. Ladder match for the IC title, man. Thank you, WWE. It's not Money in the Bank, but I will certainly take it, and it should add another great match to WrestleMania on top of the Rollins-Orton, which we'll be getting, and whatever Daniel Bryan's doing. And I'm not really that impressed with WrestleMania at the moment, but it is what it is, all right? I'm not really excited for it as I was previous years, so we have to see how WWE builds up the card, all right? Following his loss to Roman Reigns in the main event of Fastlane, plans are for Daniel Bryan to go one-on-one with either Sheamus or Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania 31. How this is all going to transpire now with the announcement of the ladder match for the IC title remains to be seen. We're just going to have to start watching Monday Night Raw to find out with the remaining 4 weeks left to go. There has been reaction to Goldust versus Stardust at WWE Fastlane, but going into the pay-per-view, the decision to do the match was seen as rushed and was met with heavy criticism within WWE. Like I said on my Fastlane review, WWE fucked this feud by giving this match so soon. The culmination of this should have happened at WrestleMania, with the build-up leading up to WrestleMania, with that being Goldust's last match. And you should have gave these guys 15 minutes at WrestleMania to deliver a great match. At Fastlane, the match was completely awful. It was rushed. It was botched. Something went wrong there, but WWE, like I said, fucked that one up. And finally, guys, to end this lengthy edition of Off the Script Part 2, number 54, Vince McMahon is said to be back on his tag team kick once again. This is part of the reason why the Primetime Players are being reunited and why Sin Cara and Kalisto were brought up to the main roster together, which they debuted a few weeks back on WWE Main Event. It will be interesting to see if they do a multi-team match at WrestleMania 31 for Cesaro and Kid's WWE Tag titles. While the tag division is gaining some teams, it's worth noting that they are also losing a team, as The Miz and Damien Sandow are expected to work a singles match at WrestleMania. Miz and Damien Sandow no longer a team. Goldust and Stardust no longer a team. WWE has to do something to replace those two teams, even though I wasn't a big fan of The Miz and Sandow. And I'm glad that they're splitting up. It'll give Damien Sandow a nice singles push on his own. Don't really care about The Miz anymore, man. He's definitely old news. But, you know, WWE and Vince McMahon seem to go back and forth in the tag. You know, 6 months out of the year, fuck it. It's garbage. I don't want nothing to do with it. Now he's all of a sudden back on his tag team kick again, and I'm assuming this has to do with Cesaro and Tyson Kidd because they are seen by WWE higher-ups, Triple H, the officials, and Vince McMahon that they're really behind them. So hopefully this continues and we get prominent tag matches on TV and the division is built up like it should be. I want a division like it was back in the early 90s, late 80s, but that's a fucking pipe dream. But regardless of that, WWE really needs to work on the tag and the Divas division, as I mentioned frequently in this video. So that's the news on that, and that's the last story I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed my opinion. Please let me know what you think down below about all this Stephanie McMahon and AJ Lee situation down in the comments. If you missed yesterday's video, Off the Script, number 54, part 1, link is down below in the description. Follow me on Twitter at JD4MNY206. If you guys are not subscribed here, man, what the fuck are you waiting for? #1 source, clearly, for WWE news and rumors and 2K15 coverage right here on YouTube.com. If you guys want more additional wrestling content, Joe Cronin Show and his group, go check him out. Links are down below to his Twitter and his YouTube. And my man, Justin LaBar, Josh Eisenberg, and Brian Goulish, Chairshot Reality at WrestleZone.com, as well as their YouTube page, all linked down below. I will have part 3 for you guys tomorrow. What am I working on? What do you want to hear, man? As the big story, I got HBK possible one last match in Dallas at WrestleMania 32, or The Undertaker not returning to TV until WrestleMania 31. And also Rey Mysterio finally released from the WWE. Let me know what you guys want to see as the top story tomorrow on Off the Script. I'll be back here Sunday with part 3, guys. Until then, take care. If you did like the video, hit that thumbs up, and I will see you guys on Sunday morning. Until then, this is JD, and I'll talk to you guys later.